G'day guys, how are we? Welcome to Boxing Deep Dive. I'm Lyndon Hosking and great to have you along for episode 61 of our weekly show. And who would have thought we would have made it this long? So it's going to be a big show tonight. We're just going to welcome Tassie in a second. We've had a bit of a late scratching tonight. Mike Altamura hasn't been able to make it, so you're going to have to put up with Tassie and I. He's had a big day at the office by the looks of things. I'm going to bring him in now. Grant Tassie Brown, how are you, mate?
A big day is an understatement, Lyndon. I've been flat out. I just literally just had a quick bite to eat and jumped on now.
That's good, mate. So, because at the moment you're not only working full time, you're also putting the finishing touches on Bo Belbin.
Yeah, that's right, Lyndon. It's it's a massive thing. People don't know what behind the scenes to be not only a coach but manager as well. So I mean, not only are you preparing them to get ready to fight, their fitness, their sparring, their recovery, also doing the management stuff, organising everything that's got to be done when we get there, and organising sponsors, organising everything. You know what I mean? T-shirts to be made, and but like the main thing is the preparation. Dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Sparring I've organised have been amazing. We're knocked off sparring now. Recovery sessions I've implemented with the ice bath, saunas, and just to keep him fresh, mate. And now it's just sort of to stay sharp, to be on weight, which is no problem. And then on the 12th of March, he'll be under those bright lights on the bigger stage against the one and only Nikita Tszyu. So it's exciting, Lyndon. I'm looking forward to be over and done with, but I'm excited.
Oh, it's a massive opportunity, and obviously we had Bo on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we actually got a lot of good feedback actually about what a great guy he is, and because let's not beat around the bush. It's been marketed as the Nikita Tszyu thing. We all know that, but I think it's good sometimes to have a look at the other side of things. The opponents tend to get forgotten, and what I wanted to actually relay to everyone by having on is that Bo's not here just to make up the numbers and turn up. He's here to win, and that's why I was really glad that you brought him on and he was able to have a chat.
Yeah, mate, I get that as well about Bo. Anyone that comes in contact with him, they love him. He's just what you see is what you get, and like people say that a lot, but it's true. Like, he's down to earth, humble, country boy from Tassie, and he's just so polite. Like the gym we're at now, Lim Jecker's gym, Steve Crediuk. They said what a pleasure it is to have him there. He talks to all the members. He's only more than happy to have a chat, and it's the way he is, mate. You know what I mean? So he's really good like that. He done an interview the other day with Inner Sanctum. The bloke, couldn't believe, again, same thing. Like, just, he is what you see. And look, he hasn't had, nothing handed to him in life. I won't go into too much detail, but, he hasn't had, the greatest, he hasn't had things that other people had given to him. So he's had to do things the hard way in life. He's a father of three, and and he's he deserves everything he gets. And like now, he tests himself against the favourite. It's a Rocky story. It's Rocky 1. But I mean, look, we are going there to win. We're not going to make. I'd never coach anyone just to be there. It's not my style. And as much as I love the Tszyu and they're like, dear friends, but we're going there to win. When the bell goes, there's no friends. We're going there to win the fight. Bo's going to give his absolute all, and that's all I can ask of him. And I'm pretty confident with the way he's going. And if they overlook us, then mate, it could spell trouble. So full respect to the No Limit and the Tszyu family. But March 12th, Bo Belbin is there to win, and that's the only thing we're going there for, is to win.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I mean, and boxing sometimes gets a bad rap by different people, but geez, this is a classic situation of, good people who are just hard-working, blue-collar. It gives them an opportunity to, to realise their dreams, and that's why I think non-boxing people, and maybe not just boxing, MMA and all that as well, don't sort of realise that boxing gives all people from all walks of life a great opportunity.
Yeah, well, then mate, look, usually with tennis lessons are quite expensive, so you have to sort of have a bit of money behind you. Golf lessons, but
Swimming,
boxing has always been there for the blue collar work, especially back in the old days in Australia, the days of Vic Patrick and Jack Carroll, and and it gives someone a chance to come from the streets like Jeff Fennick or Mike Tyson or the streets of Mexico, Culiacan, like Julio Cesar Chavez, and he's by Melbourne, country Tasmania. Sometimes he says I probably don't dress, so I look a bit like an old one, because he's a bit of a bogan, but he's a beautiful guy. But as I said, on March 12th, anyone that follows boxing is going to know his name. You're going to know his name. And win or lose, you're going to know his name. If he wins, it's a different story. Now we're talking, whoever, because you know what it'll do for his profile, Lyndon. So, look, it's a 2-horse race. Anything can happen in boxing, and we're there. And if anything's to go by preparation-wise, to me, he's a winner already because he's done a great job. Anything I asked of him, me and Lim Jekka, and he's ready to rock, mate. Don't worry about that.
I saw him the other day down the fights. It was good to see him again. So what's the before we move on with everything else, what's the plan for the next sort of week? Obviously he's tapering off now. So what's the last week entail?
Yeah, mate. We finished sparring. We done some partner work last night with my Ukrainian southpaw, who's a gun. Just partner drills. Bit of pads tonight, very sharp. And, it's just going to be a bit of pad work, bit of, still keep the running up and down and the skipping and that sort of stuff. And then we'll taper off, maybe a bit of swimming, recovery with the ice bath sauna, and just keep an eye on the weight. And, but pretty much all the hard work's done. Now it's just fine-tuning things and going over the game plan and really, really being prepared for what me and Lim have prepared for March 12th.
Yeah, no, can't wait, mate. I'll be up there. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think the whole of Australia's looking forward. Well, on the event itself, obviously it's the biggest fight. Well, I was going to say in a long, long time. It's probably only been about 4 or 5 months since Kambosos Haney 2. But let's get on to the big news. Of course, Tony Harrison has touched down in Sydney. Tim and Tony met for the first time in person at the Creed 3 premiere. It was a sort of funny one to make out because, I think Tim sort of turned up. I don't know what he knew to expect from Tony. And Tony obviously turned up, or Harrison turned up jovial. And I don't think Tim sort of knew what to sort of make of it. The face-off was good, but it was an interesting first meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah, the meeting between these two guys would be total opposite if it was Charlo. Charlo would be serious, wanting to probably kill you there and then.
Yep.
Harrison wants to play the joking guy. I think he's trying to probably lure Tim into a false sense of security. Like, I'm here, but on the night he'll be there. I'm surprised how bigger than Timmy is.
He looked big, didn't he?
Yeah, but obviously, like Tim said, he's probably all skin and bones. Tim's very strong for his weight. I'm surprised that he come in so late to Australia. Thought he might have been here earlier. Tim went to America 2 months before Charlo, and this guy's come a week and a half. So, but I don't take much from this shit. Face-offs, all that shit doesn't mean nothing, Lyndon, until you throw the first punch. I'm fully confident Tim Tszyu will be victorious. It won't be easy, and he might go places he hasn't been before, but I tip Tszyu to probably win late round stoppage.
Yeah, look, I think we're all under no illusion. It's going to be a tough fight. If you're out there and you're not quite sure, you might be a bit more of a casual sort of fan, you're not quite sure about Tony Harrison. This is the guy that beat Jermell Charlo. He's probably you've got probably Charlo and Tim, and then you've got this guy at probably number 3. So, Tim could easily sat on his hands and just waited and maybe taken a tune-up fight, but you've got to give him full credit for taking on this guy.
Yeah, and I'm surprised too because when I heard about his sparring partners, I knew he had the 2 twins here, but I thought they already had this guy who was undefeated Olympian, ranked in all the bodies. But I assumed he was here, this guy from Detroit, but he's actually come and joined. He's right up with Harrison. So this sparring partner that was meant to come and spar Tim is with the Harrison camp. So they've only just been aware of that now. I'm not quite sure what the guy's name. He's undefeated Olympian, and he's ranked in all the bodies in light middleweight as well. He wants a shot at Charlo too, but he's with the Harrison camp.
Yeah. So who knows what the games that they play? But I'm with you. I think Tony Harrison wanted to give the impression that he was jovial and he tried to give Tim a hug, of course. But I think these guys are true. These are real professionals, and I think on the night, I mean, it'll be all business from Tony Harrison, and there'll be no hugs. Then one thing I wanted to ask you about, I know you're in the inner sanctum of Fight Hype. You've done a little bit of work for them. Did you see an interview? It was either today or yesterday where there's a few reporters at the gym interviewing Tony Harrison, and the guy from Fight Hype, I'm not quite sure who the Sydney guy is, went to ask Tony a question, and he said, no Fight Hype, and just cut him off and asked someone else. So I don't know what's been said, or no, we know it wouldn't have been Noonan Boy. He's up in Queensland, of course, but I just sort of struck me funny that he's obviously got some sort of beef with Fight Hype.
Yeah, I don't know anything about. First, I've heard of it, Lyndon, so I'll definitely investigate.
Yeah.
I
mean, end of the day, mate, who cares? Fighters, they're like footy players. They all get a little bit precious when maybe someone said something they didn't agree with or wasn't complimentary.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm sure it's straight over the head. But I just found it a little bit odd that he said, nope, no Fight Hype.
Yeah, wasn't aware of that. That's funny.
And then you got Floyd Mayweather on the other hand, says, hey, Fight Hype's my number one, you know. So anyway, we know these guys play funny games.
My good friend Bill Haney likes Fight Hype as well. So
okay.
Yeah, him and Devon, yeah.
So we've got a week to go anyway. So we've obviously been through the card last week, and I know you won't be on next week because you obviously have your hands full, but we'll give a bit of a run through the whole card again next week. Mike Altamura will be on, and we'll try and get Noonan Boy on as well, and we'll have a bit of a preview. But I know you'll have your hands full, mate, and you'll all be the whole team will be excited about it all. The other, let's move on to some other Aussie news then. So the other one I wanted to talk to you about was this. It's a great concept by No Limit. They've brought out Fight Week. Brock Jarvis is going to headline a Fox Sports show. There it is, March 8 on Fox Sports and KO. So he's fighting Marion Paneamogan, I think you pronounce it. It's not a bad concept, is it?
Mate, it's a great concept. And No Limit, obviously the best there is. That's why they got the deal with Fox. And mate, it's great. I mean, Brock Jarvis, back headlining. He's a star in the making. And he wants to bounce back, which I'm sure he will. And I think it's good, mate. And they've got a lot of dates. They've got a lot of Fox dates, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this. And it's great. It's a great build up, and I think it's a great concept. And I mean, I won't say too much, but I'm looking at having one of my other fighters, I think maybe on a June show on Fox. So,
okay.
So I'm loving that. His nickname's Action. I won't say much more about that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll wait to hear from you about that one.
But hopefully, it's good though. It's good to go all these dates, and they need content. They need fighters. So, mate, No Limit, Matty Rose, George Rose, on your boys doing a great job.
They are. The one thing I did say, we talked about it on Talking Boxing on Monday night. The only thing I thought about it all, and I know these days it's all about TV ratings and those sorts of things, but I think No Limit, I said the other night, I think No Limit just maybe missed one opportunity to maybe have it the Friday night or even the Thursday night before the fight. So you got everyone in Sydney for the main fight. I mean, I'll be there Friday night. It would have been a good opportunity to maybe have it on the Friday night. So everyone in town would have went to this one, and it would have just created a little bit more buzz. And as I said, I know it's about viewers on TV, and that's what they're interested in.
It's about the Fox dates.
So it's about the Wednesday. But But I just sort of made an example of the many times I've been to Vegas. They always had, it was always Saturday night, and on the Thursday night they would have, a big fight night at the Hard Rock or the Cosmopolitan or somewhere. And it really just set the stage for a big night. But anyway, I totally understand and I get it. But I'll just getting there on Friday myself. Would have loved doing to go to the fights and then had a big Saturday with a weigh and everything, and then of course into the fight afterwards. But anyway,
100%. In Vegas. That's why it's a home of boxing, mate. But I'm really happy for Brock, happy for Jeff Fennick, and Brock's got a lot. He's a lot better than his last performance, and things happen in boxing. And I'm really looking forward that he's back, and really looking forward to seeing Brock in action.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I think we can totally discount the Paro fight. We don't know. I mean, that happens. Fighters get caught cold. and maybe he was in the headlights or the bright lights a little bit and got a bit excited and went for it and he got caught. But that happens. I'm really looking forward to seeing him get back. And the undercard's actually not too bad either. I don't know whether you've seen it, but Kane Clark and Hunter, that's going to be a really good fight.
It's going to be a great fight, mate. Don't miss that one. Get your popcorn ready, and there's history there too because they were gym mates. So partners. So it's a great fight, mate. Hunter comes to fight. He's got real power. I think every opponent he's fought, even when he's lost, he's hurt him. And Kane's undefeated. He's got some good skills, and a bit of the history, mate. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a fight.
Yeah, it should be, mate. And just we've got a couple of viewers sort of coming on now. I'll just put up Justin Foote there from Thailand. How are you, mate? I think Team Batman Boxing.
Justin, how are you, Justin?
Yeah, mate, I know Justin well.
Justin, the amateur days.
Yeah, I remember.
90, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97 Nationals. I think he was at a few of those. And great coach and good man, Justin Foote.
I actually remember Justin very well because I actually fought Justin at the 97 Australian titles, I think it was. So, g'day, Justin. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Team Batman Boxing is from England, I think. I'm not going to say London, but England, I think. So, correct me there. Team Batman, Stephen Bateman. How are you, mate? You're obviously an Aussie, I would think. But look.
Was that an Adelaide Nationals, Lyndon?
I think it was, for Justin.
Yeah,
I think it was.
So, he must have beat Justin and fought Paul Miller in the final.
That's where I fought Paul Miller. Long time ago. But how did everyone sort of watching out there? And if you have got a question or a comment, put them in the chat down there, and we'll answer your.
While we're here, I can't do a show without mentioning Peter Maniatis. I've given up. I haven't seen him on this show since 2000. Was it sometime in 22? I mean, the quizzes, they did get a bit one-sided, and I guess it was like taking candy from a baby. But, I'm really surprised that he didn't come back, Lyndon. So, Peter, I know you got a show coming up, Kamakayo show. Good luck with that. I know you got the Pacquiao Mundine thing in Fiji. Good luck with that. But, Peter, come back, mate, because I miss kicking your ass in the quiz. I miss it. I really do miss it.
Look,
our viewers miss it. And please comment, guys, if you want the quiz back on. If you want to see Tassie embarrass Peter Maniatis every week.
I'm with you, mate. And look, I've got to say, I've got to put it out there, Peter, you watch it. I'm actually pretty disappointed that you haven't been back. I've actually spoken to him. He said he wants to come back. I said, mate, well, I'm going to stop bugging you. You let me know when you want to come on, and I haven't heard a peep. So, Pete, bring it on, mate.
Well,
all right, look.
Lyndon, the bear wanted to catch a rabbit, but it was too lazy to try. So.
Look, if you are watching, Pete, how are you, mate? And of course, as I said, next week we'll have Mike and Noonan Boy on, so we'll have a chat.
Mikey Altamura,
the man.
King of Kings, best manager in boxing. Noonan Boy, best journo in boxing. And I've got to say, a shout out, Big Bill Hack from New Norfolk, Tasmania. I think he might be somewhere else in Queensland, but Bill Hack's watching all the time. He's a Bo Belbin fan. On your Billy, let's go Bo Belbin, 8-9.
Let's do it. All right, so the other fights on that card. So Kane Clark, Hunter Oyoun. There's only 4 fights on the card, by the way. It's a 6-rounder at lightweight. Liam Taliva and Michael Seiko. Liam Taliva actually goes pretty good. I've seen him on a couple of No Limit shows in the past, and George Peterson and Gary Phillips. But I really like the fact that, it's just content. They've got good, even match fights. Only 4 fights, so it's not a late one, being a Wednesday, of course. I really like it. It's going to be probably a 2.5, 3-hour show. Absolutely perfect for that time slot of that time of week.
I agree, totally.
Especially right in the middle of, you've got normally, especially with the footy season coming up, whether it be AFL or league, you've got Monday and Tuesday, which is normally a news cycle. Then you've got obviously Thursday, Friday onwards. So it's right smack in the middle of the week. A bit of clean air, love it. So again, another big tick for No Limit Boxing. Another fight that's been announced this week, Tassie. It's actually good. It's Darragh Foley. We've spoken about Liam Paro. Had to pull out of the fight against Robbie Davies Jr. Darragh Foley's.
I knew this was done.
Yeah, well, Darragh Foley said, hey, I'll take the fight. He stepped up and he's going to take Liam Paro's spot in Liverpool on same day as Zoo Harrison. So,
yeah, no, I was aware of this one. It's a good opportunity, mate. Liam Paro, unfortunately, is injured. And Darragh Foley, his manager Stevie Scanlon, say hello to Steve, good mate of mine. And they took the mate, so great opportunity to fight back in his old country and on a big stage.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, look, this is the if you're watching out there and you're a fighter, this is the exact reason why you've got to stay ready. You've got to be around your weight, be fit, because on 2 or 3 weeks' notice, Darragh Foley, this could be the fight that propels him into whatever he's looking to, obviously world title fights and that sort of stuff. But it's a big show, and you've got to take these opportunities when they come.
Yeah, well, look, but Linda, like, so obviously you got Paro, Darragh, and then you got
Clark.
No, I don't know if Clark's. I think he might be able to still make lightweight. I don't know if he'll campaign, but then you got Stevie Sparks. So
I said Spark, yeah, light welder. Yeah.
Oh, did you say Sparks?
Yeah.
Before you said Clark, sorry,
yeah.
So I mean, obviously Paro's probably going to be number one. Then Spark, and then you got Darragh, mate. But there's some good boys in Australia that are there. But anyway, good luck to Darragh, mate. I've known Darragh for a long time. He come down to Tassie, done a camp with us, Luke Jackson, years ago. He's a funny dude, good guy, and good luck to him.
Yeah, and of course Ben Savers over there with him. Shout out to Ben. I've actually met Ben, but I've seen a lot of him on social media. I really like his insights into the sport, and I know he's sort of worn the wrath of Jeff Fennick in the past about his views. But I think it's good to to have different points of view, and I really like the way Ben goes about. He's obviously over in his homeland as well, so you got the Irishman, the Englishman back in Liverpool.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, but I agree with Jeff on that one. And Skinny, yeah. I mean, that was about saying boxing's involved and the scientific part of boxing. I don't agree with it. Boxing hasn't involved at all.
Yeah.
It's not that old fighters always beat these young guys. They all get tired. They all can't do 12 rounds or 15 rounds. So Jeff, I mean, no one knows what Jeff's like more than me, and I love him. But I mean, but I agree with Jeff on that occasion. That was boxing, the scientific, all that shit. It's you get you got 2 hands, 2 gloves. Forget all this bullshit.
I'll ask you. We'll put up an unscheduled talking point because I've got a few to get through tonight, but just an unscheduled one on that before we quickly move on. We don't want to, inflame old fires of the past. But do you think
it hasn't evolved? Boxing hasn't evolved.
Yeah, but do you think there is too much emphasis these days? And I understand sports science is big in a lot of the team sports, but boxing, I'm with you. I think, in my opinion as well, boxing's very instinctive. It's about hard work, being conditioned mentally and physically, going in there and fighting, not sports science things.
Yeah, and all this stuff. And look, a bit of conditioning's all right, but they do too much of these strength conditioning and shit. I mean, look, the old-time fighters, Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran, Willie Pep.
Just in the gym.
I mean, Archie Moore. The strength conditioning stuff, they all get tired, mate. Canelo gets tired. Fucking, they all get tired, these guys, mate. These guys done 15 rounds at a hard pace. Jake LaMotta.
Every few weeks.
So all this stuff now, mate, I don't buy it. I never will buy it. You'll never be able to convince me of it. I couldn't care who it was.
Yeah.
And I know the game as good as anyone. So each of their own. But it's the old-fashioned running, hitting the bag, sparring, and focusing on the fundamentals of boxing.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree with you that just again, we're probably from the older brigade, and that's fine. I'm happy to be from the older brigade, but in my opinion, I'm with you that I would rather be in the gym working on any particular skill set or whatever, rather than being out doing punches by numbers or whatever the hell they do these days. So, but anyway, each to their own. We'll move on. There's old mate Big J's just come into the chat. So, hey, Big J.
Big J. Big J. Here you go, champ.
Hey, another Aussie fight. I think we might have mentioned a couple of weeks ago just quickly, but it's next week, I think it is. Paul Fleming's fighting Charlie Suarez.
Yep, Paul Fleming.
That's in Mount Druitt in Sydney, March 15th. So now we quickly went over it last time, so it's not a DNL show.
Mount Druitt.
Sorry?
Nice part of the world.
Oh, is
nice
that?
part of the world, Mount Druitt. I've been there. I've fought a few guys in Mount Druitt. and I've been the big World P with PCYC back in the day.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Drew it, Wayne Hunt, trainer out there back in the day. And yeah, good luck to Femo, mate. One of our most skillful boxers. Should have had a world title shot probably 4 years ago. But, I'm glad that he's here. And I really hope in the next year or so he does get his shot. So I hope Femo goes well. Showtime.
So it's for the IBF Intercontinental, IBO Intercontinental, WBA Oceania, and WBC Asian Boxing. So it's a bit of an expensive night for the promoters there, because that's probably going to cost them about $5,000 in sanctioning fees there. But hey,
what would you know about sanctioning?
I know a lot, I can tell you, about sanctioning bodies. But I know a lot of them just got the hand out. But anyway, look, either way, it's obviously designed to give him a rating in all those organisations. So best of luck to him. And I'm with you. I really hope he gets his chance. It's so March 15th at the Kevin Betts Stadium in Mount Druitt. They've got Clay Waterman on the undercard against Mark Lucas. Is that still on? I think it is.
Might
be wrong.
Not sure.
Actually, it might be. Then on the undercard, Reynold Quinlan, Dylan White. Now, he was supposed to fight Jack Gibb, which I was really looking forward to. Obviously, that fight's off, but Quinlan's against Dylan Wright. Manuel Mate, who fought, obviously, Harry Garside, is on that card as well. So, yeah. Now, it's not a DNL show, is it?
No. But they are dealing at DNL fighters or Tasman fighters. I don't know, mate. There's something going on with all that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't really know, so I won't comment. But, yeah, something there. But I'm with you, Big J. Sorry, mate.
Something's going on. Yeah. Something's going on. I'm not sure what.
Yeah. All right, let's move on now. I forgot to mention at the start, we're going to get into the world stuff now. I've got a few talking points to go through as well, so make sure that you put your comments in there as well if you've got something to say, and happy to have a chat about it. Let's get on to the big news, Tassie. It is official. Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia is going to be in Las Vegas on April 22nd. I did see today that it's looking like Allegiant Stadium or T-Mobile Arena. So either way, it's going to be massive for Vegas.
Awesome. Probably one of the biggest fights you can make, as in status-wise and social media-wise. I mean, look, let's get it straight. There's no belt on the line. Devin Haney has the 4 belts. All right?
And it's catchweight too.
Thank you. But star power. Gervonta Davis is a star. And he's done that by knocking a lot of guys out, fighting, multiple weights. And he's a really, really great fighter. Probably a once-in-generation type fighter. Ryan Garcia has this massive social media, Kardashian celebrity status. He's a good-looking kid like a Ricky Martin. And he can fight, though. He's very fast. He's got a powerful left hook. He's quite big for his weight. Him and Devin Haney split 2 wins each in the amateur. So the guy can fight. He's not just a pretty boy. So between both of their followings, it's major. And this fight attracts the non-boxing people because they all know Ryan Garcia. My 13-year-old stepdaughter knows who he is.
Is that right?
Tank Davis 100%. Tank Davis gets the celebrities in. LeBron James, the Magic Johnsons, the NBA, they're in the rap crowd. So this has the potential to be, I'll tell you now, this will be the biggest pay-per-view event of the year.
Of the year, okay.
Bigger than Canelo. Whoever Canelo fights, this will be bigger. All right, so this is huge, and it's a good fight. Don't rule out Ryan Garcia. I'm tipping Tank, but Ryan's got power. He's got speed. He's accurate, and he's big. Now, Tank's known to get behind in the scorecards. Sometimes he's a lot smaller. I still pick Tank, but I don't think it's going to be a whitewash. Garcia got up from a knockdown against Luke Campbell. Libby Gomez knocked him out. So this is a huge fight, Lyndon, and it's good for boxing, unlike the Jake Paul and Fury fight. This is 2 actual fighters, but that star power celebrity action. It's huge.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me get on to, while we're still talking about this fight, talking point, or our first talking point to discuss tonight, on what you just said then. Will Davis and Garcia be as big as expected? Now, the reason I ask that is because looking at it, if it's Allegiant Stadium, 60,000 people they can get into that stadium, and Oscar De La Hoya has actually made a comment. I don't know whether it was tongue in cheek to build up, whatever, that it could be the biggest pay per view ever. I don't think it's going to be that big, but are we? I mean, it's going to be a massive fight. But do you think for obviously the casual fans out there, but do you think it's going to be as big to fill a 60,000 seat arena and get 1, 2, 3 million people to watch it on TV?
I don't know about the arena live, but I'd go as far to say it's going to be up there in the pay-per-view numbers. Like, it's not going to be bigger than Floyd and Pac, Floyd and McGregor, or Floyd and Canelo, or Floyd and De La Hoya. But I think it's going to outdo a lot of fighters because Garcia's star power, Tank star power, especially Garcia's star power. It'll be up there. It might sit 4th or 5th all-time pay-per-view records.
Shit, that big. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think this is a perfect example of what we had the 24/7 series. This to me would have been the perfect 24/7 with the build-up. So I think it's going to be entertaining. They both bring something different to the table, and I think this fight was made for 24/7, which means it's even more tragic that HBO's not around anymore.
Yeah, hopefully Showtime do some sort of spin-off on it. But
they do all access, don't they?
Sorry?
They do all access or something, don't they, Showtime?
Yeah, but it's funny. It's a massive fight, and there's no belt. Haney's the king, so it's just, yeah. But look, credit to Garcia for chasing it. Tank's accepted it. Lomachenko, Haney is the real fight at 135. That matters for all the belts. But this is the second best. But given outside, social media and people that don't know, it'll be outdo that as in numbers wise, due to Garcia, being such a rock star. But the kid can fight.
Well, all they talk about a belt, man. All they got to do is get the WBC to just invent one for him. We saw it on the weekend with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury.
Can we talk about that at some stage?
We are going to talk about it, so just hold fire on that one. But yeah, I said on the show on Talking Box on Monday night, I can't believe, and the way he put it over the shoulder and was crying, and the greatest day, all that. Anyway, we'll talk about that a bit later. But look, I think it's going to be massive. I'm probably thinking about 1.5 million pay-per-views is probably what I'm in the ballpark. But maybe I'll be anything north of 1 million is a massive event. And look, if I would think it's going to be T-Mobile Arena, 20,000 people. I think that probably fits the bill a bit more, unless they want a massive crowd and they hand out tickets for $50 or $100, whatever it might be, to fill the stadium. But I don't know about you, mate. I'm not a big fan of big fights in big stadiums. We saw it earlier, was it last year with Kambosos Haney? A great idea to have it at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. It's got 50, 60,000 people can get in. The problem is, guys, these stadiums aren't built for people up in the bleachers. It might look good for the celebrities at ringside, but the guys that can only afford a $100, $200 ticket up in the bleachers, they can't see shit. So I think a bit more compact, tight in, charge a bit extra for your tickets and pack it out.
Yeah, I agree, Lyndon. Yeah, the stadium ones, it doesn't give me the atmosphere of boxing for me. It's a lot. That's why Madison Square Garden, MGM, Caesars, all that stuff, mate. That's the rule.
Yeah, well, I just still think, even with T-Mobile, I still like MGM Grand. That's a great arena for the boxings. But either way,
but whatever happened, Lyndon, and I'm sure you'll probably attend this fight. Just don't go jumping over railings and almost killing yourself. When you see some of your favourite fighters, please control yourself.
I think you've got us mixed up there, mate. I'm the one that had you by the leg trying to pull you back over the railing. If you don't know, Tazzy, who was it? It was Nonito Donaire. Saw him over the railing, jumped. We're up, mind you, we're up about 50 metres in the air, and he jumps over the, from one sort of set of seats to another, and there was a gap of probably about a metre or two, and he jumped over.
I seen the move on Batman where he jumped buildings. So I thought I'd try it. So, hey, If it was Floyd Mayweather, mate, I would have fucking jumped 5 buildings.
Yeah, it was quite. So hey, but Nonito Donaire didn't care. He, I think he ended up having a drink with you, didn't he? He was a good guy.
We message each other on Instagram now. He's
Oh,
a
do
cool
you?
dude, man. He's a cool dude. Cool dude.
But all right, he's talking another talk. I can't remember what this one is. His talking point. What did I put there? There you go. Is Golden Boy back in the game now? Again, I talked about this sort of briefly on Monday night. He's been out of it, or Golden Boy's been out of action since Canelo left. I think he's been beating the chest. Oscar De La Hoya. Is Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya back?
Well, listen, Lyndon. He tried very hard to sign Berlanga. And I thought that was a good fit for him, being Latino.
Yep.
And I thought he had him, but he didn't get him. Matchroom got him. So that would have been a great signing. Then I seen him trying to get Terence Crawford with B-Hop. But I haven't seen nothing eventuate from that. So, has he had a new signing, Lyndon? Or
he hasn't.
From the Ryan Garcia fight?
Yeah, I think it's more so that this is, as you said, the biggest fight of the year. Massive amount of attention on it. It's going to be a massive amount of attention on him and Golden Boy.
Al Heyman, Tank Davis is the number one side with this one. A rematch, if Garcia wins it. Yeah, but look, it doesn't hurt Golden Boy's image. But he really needed that Berlanga. That would have been good for him.
Yeah, well, we all remember, of course, back in the halcyon days of Golden Boy, of course, he had himself and Hopkins and all these types of guys. And then, of course,
Barrera.
Yeah, and then, of course, he promoted in conjunction with Mayweather. And
he done heaps for Floyd, heaps.
Yeah, it was all Golden Boy and Canelo, of course, as well. So, anyway, we'll soon see. Maybe this will be the, just the catalyst to get Golden Boy back as, in the top 2 or 3 promoters in the game. Let's move on, mate, to another massive fight that's sort of been announced, but it hasn't. You'll know more about this than most of the people out there. This is, of course, Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko. It's looking like it's going to be confirmed for May 20th, but the question is where is it going to be? Because there's been a lot of talk about it being in Vegas, and now they're talking about it being in Saudi Arabia. It was over there pushing for it. What do you think is going to happen?
I messaged Bill Haney 2 nights ago.
Yep.
And what a great man Bill Haney is, mate. I've got so much respect for the guy. He seems to think probably Saudi Arabia.
Is that right?
Given Devin being over there, not just this time, but he was over there with his dad not long ago as well. In fact, obviously, being a devoted Muslim. The fact that Saudi Arabia is really trying to push their boxing tourism there now. They met with the Prince, obviously. I was hoping Vegas, because I've been invited with Bill Haney to be there with Team Haney. But if I was a betting man, Lyndon, I really would say I think Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and I was just going to say too that initially I would have thought it might be a tough ask over there because the Saudis so far have liked the bigger guys, the heavyweights, obviously the cruiserweights, that sort of stuff. Is it going to be really something they'll get the teeth into? But you saw yourself all the celebrities went over there. It was a big fight. Tyson was there, Wilder was there, Fury was there. Of course, Fury was going to be there. But I think it's starting to get that bit of a feel about it. It could be the next step down from a Las Vegas or New York.
Well, they've got all that oil money, Lyndon, and that's money speaks all languages, mate. So I think it's a good thing. It's something different. It's another look, Lyndon. While boxing's being promoted in a good light, I'm happy for it all.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter who's promoting it, I suppose, as long as it's it's big, it's safe, everyone gets paid. I know we're going through it at the moment with Fury and Usyk as well about where that's going to be. It looks like Tyson Fury's with all these antics is put that off, and I don't know when it's going to be now, if it's going to be. So, but look, there was talks. I said it a couple of weeks ago on the show that Jason Maloney's world title fight might be on the undercard list, but I would doubt that they would probably take that fight to Saudi Arabia, and maybe that gives it an opportunity to be here in Australia.
Yeah, Lyndon. Yeah, I remember you spoke about that before. I mean, as long as Jason gets his shot, mate, that's all that matters. And I hope he does, you know what I mean? He deserves it. So, Big J just said Vegas. Well, I hope it is in Vegas, mate. If not, looks like I'll be going to bloody Saudi Arabia.
How far is that on the plane these days? I've never even thought about going there.
15 to Dubai, Linden, probably another 4 or 5
Okay.
there. I'll probably get hung over there probably, but yeah.
you better watch yourself. Just hang out with the Haney guys, mate. I'm sure they'll look after you. But oh look, it would be a different spin on things, wouldn't it? I mean, we've all been to the big fights, whether it be here or overseas. But to see a big fight in Saudi Arabia could be something a little bit different if you can afford to get over there. But I think if I had the choice, yeah, I'll probably watch it on TV. I'm not quite sure I'd want to go to Saudi Arabia, but it seems to be the in place at the moment. All right. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, Tassie, big fight there on the weekend. Tommy Fury got the chocolates over your mate, Jake Paul. The scores were 76-73 times 2 for Fury, 75-74 for Jake Paul. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I was at work, flicked on Instagram, and someone had it live. I think I watched the last 3 rounds. Saw a lot of holding. Saw Jake Paul's knockdown, obviously, but well, I don't know. I thought Jake Paul might win. I don't really know much about Fury.
No.
Fury obviously sounds like he done the better work early. Mate, look, they got eyes on boxing. Everyone was talking about that one, even kids. They got a lot of star power to Saudi Arabia. So I'm not knocking them guys. They train like fighters. They fought like fighters.
Yep.
Good luck to them. But the WBC for putting up a belt, and I think they had Jake Paul ranked as well.
Yeah.
WBC's lost it, mate. Masiro Suleiman, who I met at the Canelo press conference, they've lost it, mate. You know, to give it's okay to have these sort of fights, but let's treat it for what it is. It's more novelty. It's not real, So when you're putting belts in there for 8 rounders and look, we know the WBA stuffed as well. The IBF beats them all. WBO as well, but the IBF beats them all, mate. They're good with their mandatories. They're very strict with it. But the WBC, to start putting belts in, it's like you find it in a Kinder Surprise. I'll go to the servo, buy a Kinder Surprise chocolate, and it'll be a WBC title. They're really making a mockery, mate. So it's all money.
Yeah.
The fact that Jake Paul had a ranking because he's a bit of a celebrity, it's pretty bad, mate. Pretty bad.
Oh, it is. And look, I understand they want to put a bit of a spin on things. They all like to have a belt. It's great for the promotion and everything else. But I don't even remember what the belt was even for. This Diriyah or some funny name. But as I said, I don't want to make fun of Tommy Fury. He had a good win. It was the best win of his career and everything else. But the way he had the belt draped over his shoulder and he was crying, and this is the greatest day of my life for a made-up belt. It's not even probably on a regional scale. Was a little bit too much for me. But anyway, good luck to him. He got the win.
Yeah, Lyndon, let's not give that fight any more airtime than what it deserves, yeah?
Well, one thing before we move on, though, I just want to say, don't give the fight any more airtime. I'm with you on that. But I saw something on social media on the weekend that just made me sort of think about Jake Paul. Now, this is a guy who was a YouTube sensation. He was making millions and millions of dollars from YouTube. And he put all that aside, like you said, to train like a boxer and get in there with, we'll say, a real boxer, in front of the world and the light. So you've got to give him a bit of credit for getting out of that comfort zone. And Logan Paul's probably the same. He could easily just made these funny videos and made millions, but he's taken himself out of that and done this.
Well, Logan got in there with Floyd, even though he's not bigger, he's sort of a fighter. And like Floyd had trouble, you know what I mean? But look, even the MMA guys he fought, they were still good fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, so he hasn't been fighting people off the street. Anderson Silva and that guy that he knocked out. That
was it Wood? No, Terrell.
Woodley. Yeah.
Woodley.
So I mean, so they're not bums. So the guy does, he won me over a bit. When
me too. Look,
when I met him, he was really, really nice as well, him and Logan.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, look, they're a bit different to some of these other ones that are doing it. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, that's another talking point. Did he? We just sort of spoke about it. Did he gain credibility in defeat? Because he's been getting a lot of praise from numerous people in the media. I don't think so. I think he was marketed as sort of the favourite and everything else, but I'm not sure he got. I'll give him credit for, as I said before, with what he's done, but I'm not sure he gained credibility out of losing to Tommy Fury.
Yeah, look, mate, I'll be honest with you. Besides his last name, I know nothing about Tommy Fury.
No.
So, yes, it's in his pedigree. Yes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree sometimes. So you think he'd know the difference between a left jab and a left hook. Obviously, the old man's a tough boy. They all seem like tough men. But yeah, look, mate. I don't know about that. But I mean, he had a crack, and that's all.
Yeah, that's all you can do. What about Tommy Fury? Where do you see him? Do you rate him at all?
Nah.
Yeah, nah, I'm a bit with you. Team Batman Boxing, I'm very glad Jake was beat. I predicted Fury would win, and to me, he won easily. Well, he must, yeah, well, I think so. He got a point taken off, and he got the knockdown, and he still won an 8-round fight, so it was obviously pretty dominating. And that's why I don't necessarily give Jake Paul a big pat on the back, because, mate, you lost to let's just say, not really a world-class fighter. One guy that is a world-class fighter is this guy, Terence Crawford. Now, he's looking like he's been mandated to fight Alexis Rocha, 22-1. He's only had the one loss to Rashidi Ellis in 2020. That was a 12-round decision. I want to jump straight into my talking point here, first of all, because is Terence Crawford becoming irrelevant? Now, you could easily say, well, Spencer's the same and whatever, but Spencer's talking about moving up. He's got fights on the go. Should Crawford just say, stick your Roger fight, I'm fighting this guy or that guy, you can have your title? I mean, surely he's big enough now to do that.
Yeah. Very hard that Crawford at number one pound for pound when you're fighting these sort of guys.
This is his second fight in a row with someone irrelevant.
Spencer's fighting Thurman at 154. Will he come back down? Has his stablemate mentioned he might relinquish belts? Charlo, we don't know, Lyndon. Yeah. So I think Tim Tszju's got more chance of fighting Crawford than fighting Spencer and Crawford. So I don't know. It really doesn't know, but I know he wants Spence, but there's Boots Ennis and there's the other guy, Mexican guy as well. So I love Crawford. I've always had him number 1 or 2, but fighting these sort of guys, I can't have him 1 or 2 now. He's a bit down now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you because, I mean, surely he's big enough and bad enough now to say, I'm not fighting this guy. To the WBO, no. I know he hasn't got a promoter behind him at the moment. You did say...
Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, they're the two young guns that haven't got belts, but they are definitely big threats to Spence and Crawford, especially Boots Ennis.
Yeah, no, I agree. And as I said, like Spencer's...
Who's actually on the Davis Garcia undercard, Lyndon, Boots Ennis.
Yeah. I did see that. Who's he fighting on that card?
He's on the undercard. Yes.
Okay. I
and
can't
he fought on Tank's last undercard as well.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think, was it right he's going to fight...
He's with Uncle Al.
Yeah. Was he fighting for the IBF title? Is that right?
I don't know if he's fighting for a belt, but he's fighting on the card.
Yeah, I did hear that he might be fighting for the vacant IBF belt, but I don't know. You've got Crawford.
Is it vacant?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so you've got
It is vacant.
Yeah.
What does Spence get stripped?
Let me bring it up now while we're going here because just so I've got my my facts right. I think the IBF is vacant. Let me have a quick look. So what are we, welterweight? So
no, super. Welterweight. What you're right, welterweight. You're right. My bad.
No. Looks like no. Now Errol Spencer's been reinstated. It was vacant a week or 2 ago.
Yeah,
so Spencer's got WBC, WBA, IBF, and of course Crawford's got the WBO.
But he's fighting Thurman for the Okay.
Yeah, but do you think though this probably gets back to what the hell is going on with the sanctioning bodies? that Errol Spence, he hasn't been the most active champion for different reasons. He should be able to fight his mandatory challenger at 154, so a division above the division of the mandated fight. Surely the sanctioning body should strip him straight away. Surely.
Lyndon, the WBC allowed the middleweight Charlo to not defend his title for near 2 years.
Yeah. Yep.
So, please.
I hear. And who's he fighting next? I haven't got that there. He did say that. I can't remember.
Who's he fighting?
Oh, I can't remember. If someone out there knows, put it in the chat there. I think
he's another one, Charlo, the middleweight version. Fuck me dead, mate. I mean, like it doesn't even fight old mate. Who I think's not too bad.
At what weight? Sorry.
Well, middle, but it doesn't even fight. He's going up now.
But, Munguia.
No, not Munguia. He's a spastic.
Young
African American boy.
The American. Who was that?
He's a 2 or 3 division champion. He won the world amateur title. What's his name? He mouthed off the Canelo that time. Remember?
Oh yeah, who was that?
He's a slick boxer. Can't believe I can't think of his name. Like I'm not on the quiz.
Not Lara.
No, not Lara. He's Cuban.
Oh, sorry. Okay, whatever. But yeah, but look, I know we've gone over this numerous times about the ranking bodies, but geez, surely with Errol Spencer said, yeah, I'll fight the mandatory, but I'm going to fight him at super welterweight. Boo. Ah, there you go. Larry's got it. He's fighting Saliki. There you go. He's ranked number 5.
And who cares about that fight at all? Who cares?
And Larry, welcome to the show, mate. I know you've always got some good comments. Adrian Broner's rumoured to have signed with Golden Boy to fight Blair Cobbs. I did hear he was maybe fighting Cobbs, but I didn't know he'd signed with Golden Boy. Another one from Larry. I heard the PBC can't find the money for the Spence Thurman fight. Okay, well, that's news to me. Surely they'd be able to find the money for that, wouldn't they? Who knows? Well, they haven't got no money left, have they? So who knows? But the ratings, they seem to change by the day almost, the ratings. But anyway, couple talking points, mate. Let's get on to it. Is the Mayweather era officially over? Now, on the weekend, I know we're not getting into the exhibitions and that sort of stuff, but he did the exhibition in England, London, I think it was, against Aaron Chalmers, and there was less than 3,000 or 4,000 people there. It was actually a ghost town right up until the fight. Do you think?
I heard you had more people at your wedding.
I probably do. Look, I didn't watch it. I must admit, I'm not into it, but I support what he does. But I saw some pictures of the event just before he was going to walk out, and it was absolutely deserted. So, do you think that's just a one-off sort of thing, or people are officially done with Mayweather?
Well, that's in England, but I mean, look, Floyd, one of his biggest fans, and what he done as a fighter was phenomenal. What he done, as a pay-per-view star was phenomenal. But I understand he makes big money, and I never knock anyone making money once or twice, but to keep going, fighting these non-boxers or these actors or spastics are what they are. People are getting sick of it. I mean, I think he's hurting his legacy. I mean, I know, it's only exhibitions, but the fact that he's showing that his star power is drawing in him. I mean, I know money's money, and I know he's got an expensive lifestyle, but what about your, your legacy? And I think all this stuff does hurt your legacy. The fact that there's actors and little Japanese guys saying that they've been in the ring with him. I mean, far out. I mean, I think enough's enough now, and it's his own bad luck and fault if it does start dropping in numbers and it does start hurting his legacy, because it won't hurt him as a fighter, but the fact his star power, I mean, it's pretty embarrassing for him.
Yeah, it is. And look, this is a little bit different to the other ones we've seen. We saw Barrera and Hatton fight not long ago. I fully support those type of ones. I think it gives us a bit of us, boxing tragics, a bit of nostalgia, and we get to see those fights. As long as they're prepared properly, which they were, I think it's great to have exhibitions. But in this case, where you're fighting influencers or whatever the hell they're called, YouTubers or whatever, celebrities, Floyd, look, I understand you want to give people a show. It's an event. People go to watch it like they do a normal show. But I think the fans have sort of spoken that, fighting was he a reality TV star or some shit? I don't even know, but it's just, I think everyone comes over that.
Geordie Shaw or some.
Yeah. Well, Larry says he watched the fight. Geez, mate, you're a better man than what I am. I hope he didn't pay for it. Should have been paid to watch it. Arena was half empty. Yeah, well, I'm not sure it was even on pay-per-view, but it was. Larry, tell me you didn't pay for it, mate.
I think it was on Dodo internet or some shit.
Do they have pay-per-views as well, do they?
No,
sorry. Okay. Joking. All right. Straight over there.
That's Mike's internet.
Yeah. That's why he always talks like this. All right. So some said Floyd might have an exhibition with Manny this year. I'll pay to watch. I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that'll happen.
Manny's still dangerous.
Yeah, Manny's very dangerous. Well, here's a question for you though, and to everyone out there: if Floyd said he's going to come to Australia and do an exhibition like what Manny's doing with Mundine, would you go and pay for it? I think people would, wouldn't they?
No, people would in Australia still, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would.
You can't get in the country.
Oh, that's right. Exactly, with the charges.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Rowan, it's got a comment there. Always been a massive Mayweather fan since a kid. Does hurt seeing him play with these clans in the ring. I love boxing more than it's about.
I agree, Rowan. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, mate.
Any we love Floyd. We admire everything he's done. It does annoy me to think he shouldn't even be in the ring with these idiots. So they shouldn't be able to brag and say they've been in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. It's demoralising. But I mean, he's all about the money. He doesn't care about his name or legacy. That's the problem.
No. It's about the money, all right. Shane says as well, massive Floyd fan, would have had enough. Even some of his words in the interview are kind of embarrassing. Well, I must admit, I didn't see any of the interviews in the lead up, Shane. I didn't even know he was fighting until, I think, Friday or whatever it was. So it must admit I didn't really take any notice of it. And I'm not sure whether he would care, whether us hardcore fans don't care or couldn't give a shit, or, it's about a whole new market, which is the reality TV show. I don't know, but it's...
I've got a question for you, Lyndon.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather comes to Australia, but his exhibition is some absolute celebrity loser.
Yeah.
Would you go watch that, or would you go watch the Blues in a big game?
Oh, come on, mate. That's a silly question. Blues every day of the week. I went to a practice match the other day. That's how dedicated I am.
You took your sidekick, Uncle Ron Pickham, with you.
I did. Yeah, I went to the Carlton Collingwood practice match, but
who won that one?
Carlton won by a couple of goals, I think. It's only a practice match, mate. We're not getting too excited. But yeah, look, I'm with you. I wouldn't hesitate, to be honest. If it was even if it was just a regular Carlton game, I would go and see that. Unless it had some sort of appeal. But if it's just some reality TV star, then I wouldn't bother.
Hang on, who's that guy? Who's on that morning show, Mum? I went in their morning shows. He's well known. Just a presenter. What's his name? Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather versus Larry Ender.
Well, hey, I'd probably pay to see that. Nah. Maybe Waleed. Is it Waleed off the project? That'd be pretty.
I'd love to smash that little rat. And let's talk about the project.
We can't.
How dare they bag Jesus Christ, that transgender freak, and they laughed. Now, if that was us teasing someone of their sex, talking about Jesus Christ in the way they did, is blasphemy. They sinned and they will go to hell. Shame on the project and all you rainbow flag freaks.
It was, I think we've got to be careful what we're saying with YouTube. They might ban us. But I'm with you, mate. I think...
Oh, they bag Jesus Christ.
Yep. Double standards. Yep, double standards everywhere. But I wouldn't mind sort of seeing that one. Maybe we could get maybe we'll get Floyd Mayweather and someone like an Eddie Maguire. Now I'd probably see that old Eddie. I'd love to see him put the gloves on. That'd be pretty good. But anyway, Larry says, sadly, I think we're going to see more retired boxers do these exhibition type of fights versus YouTubers or influencers in the future. Sad deal for boxing fans. Look, end of the day, Larry, I hear you, mate, but I suppose we've got to remember is these guys, there's probably two things. They've still got the competitive juices running through them, and that'll never end. And then the money they can make, you can't sort of blame them. You know, and I've always said on this show that Floyd Mayweather, I've never had an issue with because he's made no secret of what you're paying to see. You're not paying to see him fight a real fighter. It's an exhibition. Take it what you will. Now, I wouldn't pay for it, as I just said, but I haven't got an issue with it. But what you're saying there, I do agree, and I don't know what you reckon, Tassie, but I do worry about where boxing's going to be in 10 years' time if this shit's what everyone out there is watching. I think it's a totally different market between me and you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's keep boxing. Hagler Hearns, Leonard Duran,
Yeah.
Willie Pep, Sandy Sadler,
Yeah. I think
Jersey Joe Walcott,
Yeah.
Jersey Joe Walcott, Ezra Charles.
Yeah.
Do your history, guys. If you don't know these names,
turn off now.
Turn off now. Ezra Charles, Jersey Joe Walcott, Willie Pep, Sandy Sadler, Esteban de Jesus.
Yeah, great fighters.
You know, Hector Camacho,
Edwin Rosario. Yep. Look,
Edwin Rosario, Livingston Bramble.
Great fighters back in the day. Vinny Pazienza.
Chucky T. Vinny Pazienza.
Hey, just on that though, as I said, I think they'd be two different markets. So I think the real boxing fans, I think will always be there. And maybe it's a whole new market. The casuals that blow in and blow out, they might support that. Anyway, but enough of talking. They've taken up too much time already. Larry says, I agree, but ultimately it's going to water down the sport. Yeah, probably, but we'll see.
I just got to do one more thing towards the project.
Yep. Turn off. Don't watch it.
The project TV show. That's what I think of you losers.
Hey, one more talking point before we go. We touched on both of these fights at the start, but I'm going to put them to you. Haney Lomachenko or Davis Garcia? What fight has the more relevance in world boxing, and which fight would you go and see if you had to pick one?
Haney Lomachenko.
3 weeks apart.
Haney Lomachenko.
Yeah. What, on both?
What?
So on both, so it's a bigger fight?
Yeah, look, it's for all the belts. Lomachenko's 3-division champion, former undisputed champion. Well, you missed out on that one more belt. Haney got all the belts. It's for the legit title. And also, thank you, Larry Liston. Beautiful. Love them all. Salvador Sanchez beat a young Azuma Nelson as well. Now, it's for all the belts. They're both, both champions. And in boxing, it means more. And I'd prefer to see that as a boxing match. The Davis Garcia one is probably a bit more theatrical. Still a good fight, like I said. It'll do more numbers. But you can't go past the undisputed title. Let's not overlook what it means to be actually world champion and undisputed. So it's Haney Lomachenko for me. Might not be for the casual boxing fans, but for the die-hard, live, breathe, eat, everything boxing like me, it's Haney Lomachenko. Yeah. And I will be there wherever it is in the world. Even if it's in the Congos, I'll be there with the Zaluba tribe.
Hanging out with your mate Bill.
Fight with the Zaluba tribe. And Mike Altamura.
You'll be there. Hey, another thing I didn't ask you before when we were talking about Tommy Fury and Jake Paul, I just want to know, we're going through that. There was the bet that was made. Did you see that? There was a bet made that Jake Paul would double his purse. I had it on the agenda. I didn't bring it up. What do you think of that? Now he's... Sorry?
Did it happen?
No, that's what I was just going to say. Now, they shook hands on it. It was Jake Paul that raised it. They shook on it. They said, all right, everyone's seen it. Let's do it. And because it wasn't actually on the signed contract, he's now looking to renege. So what do you think of that?
I'm surprised, though, because Jake Paul a while ago, when a show got cancelled, he still paid all the undercard. So I heard he's pretty good like that.
Yeah, well, let's hope. I mean, he's talking $7 or $8 million, so it's a lot of money. But, Jake, if you are watching the show, I know you're a regular viewer.
What do they get paid?
I think Jake Paul got 30, I think it was, and Tom
No,
$30 million.
no,
Tommy Fury got 7, I think 7 or 8.
no.
Yeah, $30 million.
All the great fighters have got peanuts.
Yep,
Them two fuckwits got that
yep.
money.
$30
Fuck.
million.
Let's
Yep.
turn it. Wrap it up, Lyndon. Wrap it up. I'm getting hungry.
All right.
The
Well, before we.
project, fuck you, project.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, just one quick thing before I go, just a quick review. So you won't be around next Thursday night, so I'll have the other guys on. We'll preview it. Who knows? You might be. It's a Thursday night. Actually, it's a Thursday night, so who knows? You might have time to come on for a quick chat.
I'll be at the Star in Sydney.
Yep.
Flying up on No Limit, ready to do the press conference Friday, weigh-in Saturday, fight Sunday.
Well, how about we might get you on just for 5 or 10 minutes to give us a bit of a feel of what's going on up there at the casino, eh? And what's happening with Fight Week.
I think I can find time for you, Linda, my old travel partner. Please don't upset me because I want to be nice and calm.
Yeah, it'll be Mike Altamura on the show. Maybe
Mike can never upset me.
Yeah.
He's a dear friend.
Yeah.
So if it was Peter, could be different.
Bit different, yeah. So I'll have a bit of just a quick sort of preview of the fight. As I said, give us a bit of a feel of what's going on up there, and then the week after we can do a complete review of the whole show. So, all right, guys, that's about it for tonight. Tazzy, appreciate you giving up your time. I know you raced home after training and that with Bo as well. So,
good, Lyndon. Shout out to everyone in Tasmania, everyone that's supporting myself and Bo Belbin. It's the biggest fight for a Tasmanian since Luke Jackson fought Cole Frenton for the world title. Even though it's not a world title, but it is Nikita Tszyu on Tim Tszyu's undercard on main event being streamed into America. So it is huge for a Tasmanian. And get behind Bo Belbin. Get behind Boxing Deep Dive too, guys. Best show there is. We talk it. We know it. We've done it. Lyndon's a former Olympian. I had a bit of a crack myself in my years, but we know the game and we love the game. And most of all, we respect the game. Boxing Deep Dive, get around us, guys.
Well said, Tazzy. Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you next week. And thanks, everyone, for joining in, and hope to see you on Monday for Talking Boxing.